Call the meeting to order.
Yep.
Do we have any, number one, chair, member, committee reports?
No.
Review mail, any mail or phone messages?
No.
Okay. Public inquiries. Route 20 roadway
Yes, I added that
reconstruction.
there because it should be a quick update. Is anyone here for Route 20? Oh, come on in. How are you?
Good, how are
Good.
you?
Take a seat.
I'm John Nero, project scientist with Beta Group on the design build team on behalf of MassDOT.
Yeah, so I'll let you present just a quick overview
Yeah.
of what the changes are and how it's actually, causing less impact. So go ahead.
Sure, so good evening. Thank you all for hearing our item. We had submitted this as a minor plan change given, the relatively smaller portion of the project being within Charlton versus Oxford. Just to give you all a heads up of where we're at right now with permitting. Oxford did issue an amended order of conditions approving all the revised work within their town. We're currently going through Mass DEP to revise our 401 water quality certification, and we are just about wrapping up with that, as well as with the Army Corps of Engineers revising our Section 404 individual permit. So essentially what it boils down to within Charlton, you folks are no strangers to Route 20. I know you're probably on it pretty often, so work has started. The work that's been conducted within Charlton, namely the replacement and installation of Culvert 1, is largely the same as what was originally proposed, so that work has gone forward. The main changes within Charlton are actually all changes that reduce resource area impacts. So namely what's been done is a lot of the placement and design of the retaining walls along the sides of the roadway have been revised. So under the original proposal, these were going to be walls with deep foundations that extended about 8 feet outward from the wall into wetlands. What we've now done is revise that with our geotech engineers to be block walls that have a smaller footprint, and we've also slightly realigned the design of the roadway to reduce wetland impacts as well as stream impacts. Within Charlton alone, we've seen about 900 square feet of permanent fill reduction, and then about 1,500 square feet of temporary impact reduction of BVW. In addition to the retaining walls and how those impact resource area impacts, we've also finalized the stormwater management design. We've finalized the design of the 2 supplemental BMPs that were proposed within Charlton. These consist of sediment forebays that'll essentially capture like a first flush from the roadway and provide improved water quality once it overflows out into wooded areas, into resource areas. The third out of 4 changes that we also have within Charlton is the Little River Bridge replacement. So that's actually going to be done. We took a closer look at the actual composition of the substrate and the banks below the bridge and realized that on one side of the bridge, under it, there is an existing, what we refer to as like a wildlife bench that sits just above the water level. It provides really good passage at the moment for everything from mammals to amphibians and reptiles. So we changed our approach to the work in that area in a way that will maintain that existing wildlife bench, and then we are going to still go forward with constructing an additional wildlife bench on the other side of the river. The last change here is primarily due to a larger reduction in impacts within Oxford, but we have elected to reduce the size of the wetland replication area. Now, that's being reduced in size due to a substantial reduction in impacts across the project, but we still are providing an excess of 1-to-1. We're providing about 1.3 to 1 replacement to impacts. And one of the reasons that we decided to shrink that replication area, actually, and you folks are probably familiar with the parcel, but that entire parcel has been deeded to open space as part of Army Corps requirements. So after looking at that parcel closely, the fact that it's a beautiful mixed hardwood overstory, no invasives at all present. It's a really valuable upland habitat, and we really didn't want to excessively clear it just to, replicate additional
Right.
wetlands well beyond regulatory requirements.
Now, those wetlands are in Charlton, both Charlton and Oxford?
Both Charlton and Oxford.
Okay.
I would say a smaller portion is within Charlton, a larger portion is within Oxford.
Okay, so I think I missed the bridge replacement on the email that was sent to me, because I only had 3 items and I had your letter already.
Yeah, so the letter here is,
Does it mention, did I just miss it? I only saw 3 items there.
yeah, it's in our cover letter here. It wasn't a substantial change to the bridge design itself. It's just, really, we're just reducing our impacts working under the bridge by preserving one of the wildlife benches that exists there today.
Okay,
The bridge is still proposed to be replaced as is, and we're gonna be leaving the existing abutments in place and working behind it to reduce impacts to the river.
okay. Yeah, I have no concern that, it's reducing all disturbance, so I'll request a motion to approve the change as a minor amendment.
Okay, so we need a motion for that, unless anybody has any questions or comments. Okay, so we need a motion for the minor amendment approval.
Motion.
Okay, in a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
So your name?
Jonathan Nero?
Jonathan, yeah, so I had the letter ready for you, but I didn't add the bridge.
Okay, do you
Yeah.
wanna revise it
I
tomorrow?
will revise it and I'll send it to you by email.
Yes, that'd be great.
All right, okay.
Thank you all very
Of
much.
course, thank you.
Have a great night.
Okay. Could
Okay.
swear it's on the bridge.
All right, any minutes now?
No,
Yeah. All right.
we will have in 2024.
Yeah, we'll get them eventually. All right, so on to number 5. So we have notice of intent, DEP 128-1880 Griffin Road.
I know. We should clap. Only 2 years. Do you wanna just give a little review?
Sure, yeah.
Briefly?
Tom Corbett, 0 Point Development, ZP Battery DevCo. We submitted this application some time back, so we've been working with Planning Board. We've been done with Planning Board for a couple months now, but we've got our subdivision, definitive subdivision done, which then allowed us to go back, revise our plans for the individual projects. And we've got our special permit secured for both of those projects as well. And then we came back to you guys here, and Rose and I found a whole spew of things that needed to be amended with parcel IDs changing with the subdivision and describing the work performed within, because the site changed. So Rose and I worked pretty closely on getting everything revised with our wetland scientists and Jay from DC Engineering on the site plan end of it. And I think we've got all our Ts crossed and Is
Yeah.
dotted at this point. And yeah,
Yep.
pretty minimal work within the buffer zone. It's mostly for stormwater trench for just the roof runoff from the electrical equipment.
I'll recommend a motion to close the hearing and issue the order conditions.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
This is it. I'll have it ready for you tomorrow. Do you wanna swing by to pick it up? Do you want me to make?
Yeah, I'm in
I'll
town
be-
every day, so.
You are, all right, swing by. The office is closed next week, so.
Yeah, I'll
have
catch
it
it before the end of the week then, just so tomorrow, yeah.
tomorrow,
Yeah,
yeah.
there's-
I'll have it ready there.
Sounds good.
All right, nice seeing
Awesome,
you.
Rose. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Have a great night.
You too.
Next one is 6 Gale Road.
This will be continued till December 13th.
So I need a motion to continue till December 13th.
Motion to continue,
In a second?
December 13th.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Next one is DEP 1281890, Lot 4B, Oxbow Road.
Do we
You
have
have
anyone for
anybody?
Oxbow Road? Oh, hi Jude.
Hello,
How are you?
good, how are you?
Good. All right, why don't you give a little overview of our discussion yesterday with DEP and a quick explanation of why we'll be withdrawing the application?
Sure.
Thank you. Do you mind turn your volume a little up? Up a little? Can you hear him?
Can you hear me?
Yes, much better, thank you.
Okay, great. Good evening, my name is Jude Dobbin, I'm from OHI Engineering. We submitted this notice of intent, some time ago back in December of 2022. And through the course of the process, we have actually moved, all of the disturbance outside of all of the resource areas. When we were asked to do our alternative designs, we sharpened our pencil and we moved the disturbance outside of the 200-foot riverfront area and outside of the 100-foot wetland buffer zone. There was a question in the front whether the front of the property was qualified as an isolated land subject to flooding. We have gone through the process and we've had site visits with a peer review team consisting of Arthur Allen and Jeffrey Walsh that worked for the town, and I did the calculations and the extra topography that was requested, and we decided that I did the calculations to prove that it was not an isolated land subject to flooding, and Art and Jeff took a look at it and confirmed and agreed with my calculations. So we were left with a situation that I've never been in the 23 years that I've been doing this, where we actually backed ourselves out of the jurisdiction of the Conservation Commission, so we didn't know how to proceed. We still are within the natural, the habitat area for natural heritage. So we had a group meeting yesterday to decide how to properly permit this project. That was a lot of P's. So during the course of the conversation, it was agreed upon that we're outside of the DEP and the Wetlands Protection Act jurisdiction. We're still under the jurisdiction because of there's a rare species that's out there, that's the wood turtle. And Natural Heritage agreed that we have to seek a permit with them only for Lot B4. And so what's going to happen is we're going to withdraw the application for the notice of intent before the Conservation Commission, and DEP agrees with that. And then we're going to continue our permitting process with the Natural Heritage and Endangered Species Program. They have a couple of things that they want to see happen with erosion control and things like that, but their comments are very minor. So based on the conversation we had yesterday, it was recommended by DEP that we withdraw this application from the Conservation Commission without prejudice.
And there was a concern with stormwater because initially these lots were a total of 5, but the property owner went back and went back to 3 lots, so it wouldn't trigger our stormwater rules and regulations. So I would request a motion to withdraw the application.
Motion to withdraw the application on Oxbow Road.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'll see you for lot 5.
Yes, that one we will do. Thank you very much.
Have a good night.
You too.
Okay, next is 28 Curtis Hill Road and New Spencer Road.
We will continue to December 13th.
Okay, I need a motion to continue to December 13th.
Motion to continue?
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Next one is DEP number 1281915, 23 Robert Boulevard.
This was a continuance from your previous meeting due to the lack of DEP number. The number has now been issued, and I would recommend to close the hearing and issue the order of conditions.
We've already looked at this, obviously.
Yep.
Okay, so we need a motion to close the hearing.
I don't know if there's any butters there have any
Is there anybody?
concerns or anyone. Nope.
No? Okay, so I need a motion to close the hearing and issue an order of conditions.
Motion to close the hearing.
Second.
Second.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
You're all set. I'll have it ready for you tomorrow, so I'll come pick it up before 2. Yeah, okay? You're welcome. Have a good night.
The next one is DEP number 1281914, 65 Lakeview Drive.
Come on in. Come on up. Here's a lady.
Come join the fun.
So he presented the project on the last meeting, and again, there was no DEP number at the time. DEP issued the number and had few comments, which David has addressed. The comments were just, they requested an alternative analysis for, I don't think she'll be purchasing land from the neighboring. So I don't have any concerns with the consent. He addressed them. I will be recommending the issuance, the closing the hearing, issuing the order of conditions,
Does anybody have any questions?
unless anyone has any
Anybody else on
questions.
the, online? Okay, yes. Need a motion to close the hearing and issue an order of conditions?
Motion, close the hearing. Issue
Second.
Order conditions.
Need a second?
Okay.
Anyone? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
Great, thank
That
you
was
very
it.
much.
Sorry to waste your time. I want to make sure there was no one had any question. Have a good night. Oh, I had it wrong.
Next one is
Yep.
Lot 2 Lelandville Road.
Yep. Come on up. Lot 2. So, who's gonna be presenting the project, Steve?
Steve Brissette.
Steve, all right, Steve, why don't you present the project and then we'll go for the peer review?
Good afternoon or evening, this is Steve Brissette from Topa Land Surveyor.
Why
Can you hear
can't
me
I-
okay?
I'm turning my volume up a little bit. Can you say that again?
This is Steve Brissette from
Yeah,
Topa
that's
Land
better.
Surveyor.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, what we have before you is we have, lot 2 over on Lelandville Road. We're proposing a single-family residence on that lot. This lot is part of a larger project, so we have some stormwater issues that we've been working on. We did receive a review letter back from Graves. He had a few concerns. We're trying to work through those things with them. Some of it's, what's maximum extent practical, what's best for the site. The site's tight. It's literally 41,000 square feet of upland. It's completely surrounded by wetlands.
Do you want this?
So we've got some major restraints. There's some tough grades to the south and the east. So anyway, we're working through those with Graves. I believe Art Allen has gone out and he's taken a look at the plans.
Yeah.
He had some concerns about some disturbances that exist already,
You'll pass around, thank you.
that already exist from some of the existing land clearing that has taken place. I'm gonna be in contact with him and go over a restoration plan for what disturbances do exist. And at this time, I believe, we would like to request a continuance until we work out our differences with Graves at this point.
Yeah, okay, Art, do you mind chip it in?
Sure. Art Allen from Ecotech. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Great. Good evening, folks. How are you?
Good.
Thank you.
How you doing?
Great. Hey, yep, I was out there just, yesterday, actually, walked lot 2 and lot 3, but I'll start with lot 2. Yeah, obviously the site was cleared and grubbed, out by the street, basically right up to the edge of the wetland. The existing entrance that they must have used for the logging is directly adjacent to the wetland. So they've disturbed that whole section of the buffer zone. They also installed a temporary electric service partially within the wetland, right at the entrance. If you saw my picture in the report, I took that from the street. But anyways, yeah, Steve acknowledged that and my comments, and that they'll be showing, I recommended they show some
Is
the
that like
existing
right by that,
disturbance
where the
and
driveway is?
some restoration in that
They
area.
just got into the wetlands.
Again, you know, with being the wetlands being tight around the lot and extensive, I also recommended some type of permanent barrier demarcation showing at the limits of work where they're within 50 feet of the wetlands, just to try to prevent some of that future encroachment. And also, they don't have a file number, or at least as of yesterday, there was no file number listed for lot 2, so that's something else that'll need
Oh,
to be,
they got one today at 5 PM,
Oh, that one came in?
the lot 2.
Okay.
Yep. And they
Okay.
she had comments for stormwater, which
Oh.
lines to the comments from Graves,
Oh.
so,
Okay, so was it just lot 2 that came in?
Yeah.
Not lot,
yeah, just lot 2.
oh, sorry, I confused that.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yep, the DEP comments were just pertaining to stormwater, which obviously Steve is working on with Graves, so he'll just have to acknowledge those DEP comments as he goes through it, but, yeah, that's all I have. Thank you.
You're welcome. So, do you have anything to add to it?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
That electrical service is not electrical service, it's a 4x6 pole, okay?
Can you say a little louder so?
It's a 4x6 pole that's outside of the wetlands. It's in a buffer zone, it's up against the street. It's for a temporary electric service. The driveway, I saw the comment on 42 Lelandville, and this morning.
Well, let's go
We're
one
not
at a
on that
time.
yet.
Yeah, let's just stay on this one first,
Okay.
because we
And-
haven't
And
opened
as far as
the door.
clearing goes, it was logged off. We didn't make a driveway or anything there. And you and I discussed this. It was all logged up. It was a big mess. And I did clean it up. I'll guarantee you that. And I did spread wood chips to stabilize everything.
Right,
because I
but there
did-
was no grading involved.
There's no grade, nothing been done there.
No grubbing, no.
Where's
Nothing.
the stockpiles that we used
The
to?
stockpiles are on 42.
On 42.
Actually, no, they're on 44. But you
No,
can see
they're
them
on
from
lot
42.
3.
What's that?
They're on lot 3, but we'll discuss
They're-
that next.
Yeah.
So, it appears that this temporary, electric,
Nothing's hooked up. It's a pole.
right, I understand it's not hooked up, but it is in the wetlands, not within the
It
buffer.
is not in the wetlands. I looked at it tonight, and the blue flags are the other side of it by about 10 feet.
Yeah, it looked like one of the support posts was actually extending into the wetland. The main post is outside of the wetland, but one of the supports looks like it extended. But regardless, it's outside of your proposed work limit, so.
Right, and we'll be reflagging it anyway, so we probably will verify that when the flags are replaced. Is that the one that the flags are missing, Art?
The flags are pretty well deteriorated on all the lots. They look like they're probably a couple of years old. I
Yeah.
couldn't read any of the numbers, but I could see most of the flags on lot 2. There were some flags, critical flags missing on lot 3.
Okay. Well, we'll be continuing anyways until this is all addressed, and we'll have to be reflagged. So the
Can I-
site was flagged back in 2020?
The flags are all still there. I walked it tonight, the flags are all there. You cannot see numbers on them because the numbers have worn out. I get it,
Yep.
but they're on a plan.
But you can confirm them because they're not on they don't depict.
Well, you can count them as you walk through.
Right.
They're all there.
May
Yes,
I
Steve.
suggest, rather than reflagging it, that we stake out the limit of work that's established on that plan? I mean, the flags have already been memorialized, we got coordinates on them, we know where they are, know where they were. If we mark out the limit of work as it is on the plan, and we use that as a permanent, don't go over this for anything, then we can avoid having to send somebody back out there to rehang flags. Like Art said, they're there, they're just not totally legible at which one they are. That would be my suggestion.
Okay.
What's your comment, Art?
Yeah, typically the flags need to be in place and readable throughout the project. I mean, it's not unusual at all. I mean, the limit of work will obviously have to be established, but the flags should be in place and readable.
So I will ask the commission to make a decision. We'll be continuing it to December 13th. It's just a matter of what's requested, so.
So what's the request, and they have to reflag or not reflag, is that
Oh, it appears that they're not agreeing, correct, so our ally is the one
recommending to
recommended
reflag?
to reflag, right.
He's recommending the flags be
Redone.
remarked,
Remarked, you
remarked.
can read
not
them,
So you
redone,
can
just
read them.
remarked.
right.
Motion to continue.
And to have the flags.
Remarked.
Remarked.
Okay, so we're gonna redo the flags and continue to December 13th. And hopefully by then, all the stormwater have been addressed.
You're okay with remarking the flags?
Yeah, that's pretty easy, actually, because all the flags are there. All you have to do is count as you go and you can number them. It's that simple. And you have to have a tape measure to measure off where the wetlands are. I did.
And then Art will go back again and make sure that everything is up to
I'm
compliance.
sure we'll disagree again.
Is that the motion?
That's the motion.
That's the motion, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. Second.
Second motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
thank you. Well, oh yeah, he's
Don't-
not there for this lot 3, right?
Right.
Thank you, Steve.
Okay, so lot 3, 42 Lelandville Road.
Yep.
This is to do it with stormwater.
Just say it again?
This is to do with stormwater in Lot 3.
Well, both, it's stormwater and wetlands, so what do you wanna, which one we didn't open last time, lot 3, right?
3, all we did was put the stone at the driveway, and it was cleared already. Wait, long time ago. And the piles are not on Lot 3, they're on Lot 4. Well, they're outside 100-foot buffer, that's for sure. So
Go ahead,
I
Art.
knew that.
Yep, again, Art Allen from Ecotech Peer Review Consultant. I was actually on this lot yesterday as well. The lot's been largely cleared and grubbed. There's a site entrance established. Several wetland flags were missing closest to that site entrance, so it was difficult to tell where the entrance is relative to the wetland flags and to what's proposed. So those flags need to be reset in there. If there is disturbance closer than what's proposed, they're also gonna need to do some restoration and show that on the plan for this lot. And I also recommended the permanent demarcation or barriers where the work is proposed within 50 feet of the wetland. On this one, also, they're proposing 2,965 square feet of disturbance in the outer riparian zone of the riverfront area. This lot was created after 1997, which only allows 10% of riverfront area disturbance, which would equate to 875 square feet versus the 2,965 they're proposing. The only exceptions to this would be for legitimate limited projects or for definitive subdivisions with recorded deed restrictions. So I believe they're proposing excess riverfront area disturbance that they're gonna have to reconcile or reduce on this project. But that's the extent of my comments. Thank you.
Welcome.
I measured the driveway this morning at 5:30 when I was passing there to go to Millbury. It's exactly like it is on the plan, 80 feet from the lot line, from the left lot line. I took a tape and measured it out this morning, in the dark.
So,
It's right on the money.
okay. So do you want, I have two opinions, so maybe you guys could
It's
meet.
not opinion, I read a tape measure.
So maybe you could both meet on site and try to agree?
Well, yeah, I asked you to be out there quite some time ago. You met me
Yeah.
on another lot, and I wanted you to see that lot, and you didn't, unfortunately. I wish you
couldn't
had.
get there, yeah.
I wish you had. And we wouldn't be having these discussions right now.
Well,
But so be it. You're super busy, I get it. I watch you.
I'm doing my
I
best.
know, you're going you need some help. You're going in a lot of different directions all the time.
So, I mean, if you don't agree with his review, maybe it would be a good idea to meet with him there and get to the bottom of it. And also, as far as the riverfront area goes, you are disturbing more than you allowed, so that will clearly make some change to the plan. So this is what we're requesting. If you're not in agreement, then you're gonna have to, I don't really know.
Well, the engineers will have to handle that.
Yeah, I mean, we can get it.
It's a very large lot. There's plenty of places to relocate that septic system, I'm sure.
Okay, so again.
I'm not opposed to that.
Okay, so we'll be continuing anyways and look for revisions from Graves, comments, responses, and revised plans, and the office will be closed next week. But, you know, if
We're
you wanna,
open.
if you wanna have, a site walk with Art, I can arrange that
I expected to yesterday, but
to happen.
didn't happen.
Yeah.
No, because I told you,
I
I'm
did
working
my-
an hour away from here.
Yeah, I did my best to
I know.
accommodate at least a site inspection before I leave on vacation, and, that's what I could do for you. At least.
Yeah, and
when-
if I could interject, all
Yeah.
I need to see are the actual wetland flags in the vicinity of the site entrance. Those are missing.
Those are
So
missing, so those will have to be
That's-
replaced.
That's no problem
I
at
just,
all.
those flags just need to get put back in.
Yeah,
Not a problem.
yeah,
But I would expect to meet you there on the property.
for the second,
That's correct. Like I
Well,
wanted to yesterday.
that either has to be done by your engineer or by the wetland scientist.
It does.
yeah,
That's
They're not
correct.
wetlands.
yeah. And then once that is done, Steve, you let me know when that has been
Oh, yeah.
accomplished, and we'll schedule another site inspection. And we don't have a GP number for this, so we'll be continue again pending all the revisions to December 13th.
Anybody else have any questions or comments? Alright, I need a motion to continue to December 13th.
Motion to continue December 13th.
Second.
You know, I want to say one other thing too, about the stormwater management stuff, okay? We have to do it in all the time, most of the times. Everybody has their own little rules. All right. I added it up the other night. We have priced the middle guy out of a home now, completely, okay? It's getting worse. This stormwater thing cost me $9,800 by the time I paid everybody. Well, who has to pay the $9,800? The guy that buys the house. They can't afford it no more. These houses are $600,000. You have to make $200,000 a year to afford one of these houses. Now it's $209,000. The numbers are going crazy. And the government keeps asking, well, what can we do? What can we do? Yeah, streamline this stuff. You're pricing everybody out. If I want to retire and stay here and get a smaller house, I can't. It doesn't exist. So we all go to Worcester and live in pigeonholes. That's not fair. That's not fair to anybody, especially families that grew up here and the kids want to live here. They can't.
So
Not
the-
right.
So the stormwater is $9,000. Is that just the engineering, or is that?
Engineering, it was a $1,500 peer review, this fellow right here.
No, he doesn't review stormwater, he just do wetlands.
Whoever did it, whoever does
Graves,
it.
yeah.
It's $1,500 to them. There's filing charges. It's a lot of money.
It is.
It's a ton of money, and that doesn't have to be that way. All,
The state
Look-
sets it. Yeah, the state sets it.
I went to
It's not
school
the
for
town.
environmental studies my first 4 years of college, okay? I understand it, and I respect the environment. A lot of people don't, I get it. It's not necessary to do all the storm water on all of these single lots. These lots are large. The water in the future isn't gonna go into those basins, because they'll all be silted up. It's a waste of money and time. Too bad. But we're hurting the middle class right now, big time. It's not fair. And I'll speak for them every day of the week. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Steve. Good night.
So did we get the motion in a second
Oh, do we have a motion?
to continue?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Motion
Art.
In second.
Yeah, no problem.
Have
See ya.
have a good night.
All in favor?
I,
Okay. Certificates of compliance.
Okay,
T Hall Road, DEP 1281755.
we'll pass that one.
Okay,
We're waiting, they had the replication done, so we need to wait for at least 2 growing seasons to make sure the replication took. So we're gonna have to wait for at least 1 growing season. If everything
So
looks
it's-
great in a year,
not till next year.
yeah, we'll
Okay.
issue it.
Okay. Lot 2, Major Hill Road, DEP 128-1245.
Yeah, that will be, I'll be recommending to issue a complete certificate of compliance.
Okay, so I guess we need a motion.
A motion to
A
issue, I'm
motion
sorry,
to
yep.
issue a complete certificate of compliance.
motion?
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Extensions. DEP 128-1795, Lot 7, how do you say it, Boucher Road?
Bushered Road, yeah. All right, so this one, we had to start a conversation with stormwater. Actually. Okay, let's see if we can start that conversation. So this order conditions was issued back in 2020. The construction has not started, and he came back to the town to request for his building permit, with the building department. And as you know, every department has to sign it off. So when he got for me to sign it off, I realized that he's also part of a plan that has more than 5 lots. So per our regulations, any plans of common larger developments triggers or stormwater if there are more than 5 lots, and there are 9. So back at the time when he applied for the permit, we didn't have our stormwater rules and regulations. But now that he came back, I have to enforce the new regulations because he has not started the work. Had he started the work, it
He'd be
wouldn't be
Should
fair.
be grandfathered in.
He'll be fair. But the word grandfather is what is triggering a lot of confusion because our regulations does not have a clause for grandfathering. So therefore, I'm following what it says. Development or redevelopment involving multiple separate activities in discontinuous locations or on different schedules if the activities are part of a larger common plan of developments that altogether disturbs 43,560 square feet or more of land. That's what our regulation says, and he's right into it. Now, he's requesting an extension, and he's requesting a waiver, which is also part of our rules and regulations. The waiver says, the request for the waiver. Let me get to it. Okay. The Conservation Commission may waive its strict compliance if any requirement of these rules and regulations were Such action is allowed by federal and state regulations. It is in the public interest and is not inconsistent with the purpose and intent of these regulations. Now, if you are to grant an extension and do not request him to file for stormwater because his permit was issued prior to the regulations, a lot either beside him or before his, you have to account for the lack of stormwater on his parcel. So someone is gonna have to take the burden from the stormwater that's gonna be running out of his land into somebody else's. So that's a decision that the commission is gonna have to make it.
So he wouldn't, so if whatever came off of his land onto somebody else and it caused damage, he
Well, it's
wouldn't
not,
be
well, it's not just cause damage, so the whole thing about stormwater is you need to contain water runoff within your property. If you don't have a way of doing so, the water is gonna go to the next lot. So somebody that have not been developed yet, or a parcel that has not been developed, is gonna take the burden. So when that resident comes file for his parcel, he's gonna have to account the stormwater that's running down from this resident's property. So that's all we need to keep in mind. But again, back on the regulations, as I said, there is no grandfathering about, things that were done in the past. However, we have the preface that reads the following. The effective date of this regulation shall be June 30th, 2021. These regulations apply to all applications made on or after the effective date.
But if he's reapplying?
He's not reapplying, he's just asking for an extension. He's not modifying, so it's a circle.
Right.
Somebody's gonna have to accommodate for the water runoff from his site. If he does, he's gonna cost him, a lot to get it done. Should he have it on his parcel? Yes. Does the regulation have a clause that grandfather it? It doesn't. But however, it's inconsistent.
So how many lots does he have? He has 5.
Oh, it's not him. So this
Oh.
was like a A&R. So because there are more than 5 lots that have been developed, it triggers stormwater to each one of them. He's right here.
So he has 1 lot
Yep.
in a neighborhood
Yep.
that's been developed.
Correct.
So-
Not all lots have been developed, and that's what the problem is. When the lot next to him is developed, and he does not have a way of containing stormwater on his lot.
So this guy could be dealing
This
with
guy-
twice as much or whatever.
Right. So
Okay.
now this guy, instead of having, an infiltration system that would hold a certain amount of water, he's gonna have to have a bigger system because he's not holding only his water, he's holding the water coming from the other. So that we need to take that in consideration. But then you also have to follow the regulations, which, is uncertain.
Well, the what you read for the waiver too
So the waiver-
didn't sound like it really applied, because this is just 1 lot.
Well, the waiver, the thing is granting a waiver from strict compliance with the bylaw for the project it's being caught midstream. That's pretty much what it is. It's being caught midstream. He filed, he went through the process, the regulations came a year later. 2 years later, he started to build. And he's not the only one. We have 2 other coming up after his discussion. But he just happens to have that extension. So why don't we hold that thought and move along to the next one and come back to it? So, because the decision that's made for him, we need to do across the board. Because people are going to start, okay, you granted a waiver.
We'll set it, whatever we do with this sets a
Yeah,
precedent.
so why
for
don't we move to your next, and we come back right to it now, and hang tight.
Because we'll set a precedent once we make a decision.
Right, so, all right, so why don't we move to the next item?
May I comment on that?
Oh, hi, Steve. Oh, yeah,
I'm still here.
so yes, so is Steven, so just a second, Steve, I didn't know you were still there. So, when he came in, so he agreed before I had a response from the town, administrator, he agreed to do stormwater, so he hired Stephen Brissett to start the process of doing the stormwater calculations. And then he requested me to allow him to put the foundation in because of the weather's changing. He wanted to start at least with the foundation so he can have that done. And I agreed to do so. And then I had Steve to kind of hold off on the stormwater calculations until this meeting, so then the commission can make a decision. So go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, so my only comment on this is that, the man isn't applying for a new permit. He has a permit, he has an order
Right.
of conditions in
Yep.
place. He's constructed the driveway, he's constructed the crossing, he's in the process now of building a house that was outside of jurisdiction. He's
Wait a-
looking for an extension,
Stephen,
he's looking for,
you said that he already did the driveway and the
the
crossing?
driveway and the culvert crossing is already in, yes.
Well, that was not brought to my attention.
Oh, I don't, I thought I mentioned it to you the one time we did talk about it, but yes.
This is for
So he
14
has
Busher
an
Road?
active order of conditions. It would have expired, I believe, in a month, except for the COVID extension, which
Yeah.
extended it 162 days. So it's
Yep.
still a valid order of conditions.
Yeah, no, but
And-
that changed everything. When he approached me, he never told me the work had started, that he had done the driveway or the culvert.
Yes, that is.
So
already
then
done.
there is no discussion, so we need to grant his extension, because once you break ground, I can't enforce new regulations. That's as is as it is, he doesn't even need a waiver. I'm sorry, Steve, I was not aware that any driveway or culvert had been installed.
Yeah, and the septic system. So, I mean, he's pretty well on the way. He was looking for a foundation permit.
That was not brought to my attention.
Okay,
Yeah.
very good, Rose.
Well, that makes it simple, I'm glad you hung there. Thank you.
Alrighty.
Yeah, let him know
Thank you.
that I'll be extending, I don't wanna just extend it per COVID, I just wanna do the 3 years, so he doesn't have to come back in case he doesn't get it all done. So that's why I
That's
put it
fine.
on my agenda, yeah.
That's fine, very good.
Well, thank you. Well, that discussion's over, so I need a motion to extend
Extend
his
for
order of
3 years?
conditions.
Motion to extend
Do you
3
see,
years.
that's why we need to talk, because
Yeah.
when people come in the office, they don't,
Did you second?
they,
Okay.
it was never brought to my attention. I just said, if you didn't break ground,
Right, you did.
didn't I just say
Yep,
that?
he
So-
did break down, yep.
And he did, so I was not aware of it at all. The poor man. All done. That's great. Okay, so let's go to the next one.
So enforcement on 92 Stevens Park Road.
Oh, okay. Where's my agenda? Oh, here it is. You could have just told me the septic was at the driveway. Oh. Enforcement.
Yes.
Yes, received many phone calls on Thursday, excavation on Glen Echo Lake. It appears that the property owners hired the contractor to do the work. Installation of a 50-foot long, 2-foot high wall, not on the bank, but like 20 feet from the lake. And they started work without a permit. So I went over, they were not there, but I communicated with the property owner and the contractor, and I stopped, asked them to go home for the, what is it, Veterans
Yeah,
Weekend?
yep.
So on Monday, after looking into the situation, and I guess I didn't want to wait until this meeting to make a decision because the area was disturbed and it was 20 feet from the lake, so I had no other option but issue the enforcement order and allow him to continue the work under the enforcement order in benefit of the lake, leaving that area disturbed and unstabilized with the rainstorm or something happening, it would not be beneficial. However, I did request him to file for an after-the-fact notice of intent, so he can follow the process like, everyone's following on the lake in order to get their walls repaired. He came in the office yesterday. I again, I don't see the action being malicious in any way. He hired a contractor. The contractor, it was concerned with, the course of action, you know, he did not know that he needed a permit. It appears that he did call the building department, and because his wall is only 2 feet high, it didn't require a permit from the building department. So at that point, he figured, okay, it doesn't require a permit at all. And because he was 20 feet from the lake, he installed erosion controls and he started the work without calling conservation. So, I mean, first offense, you know, I just told him, and next time you come to Charlton, any work within 100 feet, whether it is, you know, just contact us to make sure if he needs a permit or not. So, enforcement order has been issued, and they're filing for an after-the-fact notice of intent.
Has the water level already been lowered?
Oh, yes. And that was what I took into consideration, was already 1.5 feet low, so. The work has been completed. I noticed yesterday that it was not stabilized, though. The soil is all disturbed, so I'm just asking them to go back and some seating, some mats, ensure everything gets nice and
There's
steady.
a lot of sand there.
A lot of sand, yeah.
Do you remember the name of the contractor?
I don't remember. Yeah.
That's all right.
Yeah, but again, as I said, I don't believe it was a malicious decision. And he did explain, you know, he has worked in other towns near the lakes, and, you know, some towns have different policies. And again, but I think he just was steered the wrong direction when he was told that he didn't need the permit for the wall. And he just took upon that he wouldn't need the permit from anyone else, so. He was concerned with his name, and he was concerned with, you know, how it would look for his business, so everyone was very, you know, I complied to all my requests, and, I'm pleased. I just wanna make sure that
Okay with it.
residents, that the residents follow the process
Right.
like everyone else, so, and they're willing to do so.
Okay.
Okay, next.
Old new business, Jennings Road subdivision stormwater.
Yes, so here we are. Did I bring it, the plans? I did not bring, it's a gigantic plan. Okay, so stormwater again. As you know, Jennings Road subdivision started in 2010.
Yep.
They are now on their phase 3. So lots have been sold, and applicants now requesting their building permits to start the work. But again, for phase 3, in that area, there are no wetlands. However, as the regulations read, it's part of a common larger development that it doesn't need to, it's discontinuous locations, different schedules. So the question was, does it trigger stormwater? Because this, now being a subdivision, they did the stormwater review when they applied with planning board. It was all reviewed, but since the regulations have changed, the question was, does the stormwater review back then is enough to comply with the regulations of today? The
What-
answer was no.
Yeah, to say, when was it done again?
2010.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
So engineers came in, discussion with Graves, and a back and forth. It appears that back in 2010, they accounted 20% of stormwater for each lot. So the stormwater was not just done for the road, the subdivision road. They accounted 20% for each lot on their calculation to figure out the amount of drainage and the size of basins. They accounted 20% of stormwater for each lot. So we're trying to figure it out, is that 20% enough to cover the requirements of our new stormwater regulations or not? So while the engineers were in the process of figuring that out, Russell approached me with questions regarding, you know, grandfathering and subdivision laws, and it was approved in 2010. It's not fair that I'm imposing new regulations on it, so back and forth it goes. I put that in the hands of Andrew, and he contacted outside consultant to kind of weigh on the subject. And his response was, to the extent that there is uncertainty posed by the bylaw or the regulations, applicants may apply to the Conservation Commission for waivers. granting a waiver from strict compliance with the bylaw or regulations for a project caught midstream may be a practical solution for the applicant and the town. So in this situation, at this time, I would be recommending the commission to issue a waiver for the entire subdivision because there are still maybe over 20 lots that's still going to be developed for phase 3. And I don't want each applicant that comes in front of the commission to go through this process. So the waiver would be for the subdivision as a whole, accepting that the stormwater that was done in the past might not meet the requirements. However, it has been caught midstream, and
So what's the impact on the town then from the state if we,
right, and the other thing was, as the regulation says, that you need to make sure that it does still comply with state and federal regulations, which at this time it does.
so our regulations for the town are more severe than the state?
No, our regulation, the town is required by the federal government.
Okay, so maybe I didn't ask that question correctly. So there would be no repercussion from the state coming back to the town
No.
saying that you guys should have
Correct.
made them,
Correct.
okay.
Yeah, correct. Now, the only thing is when they come back to the other side of the road for phase 3, there will be wetlands there. And when they submit an application to us to review, because there are wetlands, and the GP can impose
Yeah.
new stormwater, but that will be up to the state.
Because the state has to review that stuff anyway, so then they
Right.
make comments on it.
So they will
Okay.
make comments on
Okay.
that. So I know it's confusing, but is everybody with me? I need to kill this fly. But I don't want to look like I'm losing my mind on
So
video.
what we're gonna do, we're gonna make a motion for,
To what,
to
to
accept the
waive it.
waiver?
Yeah.
To make a motion to grant a stormwater waiver to the.
Phase 3.
To the
Include the
phase 3
22 lots.
Jennings Road subdivision.
Yep.
All right, I'll make that motion.
Okay, Ron.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor?
All right,
Aye.
Great. My life, it will be so much easier. Okay, that's great. Next.
Drawdown update, dam repair update.
Okay, oh, actually, I have to bring something that was not in here because I forgot to put on the agenda.
Okay.
Dock, 112 Glen Echo Shore. They
Okay,
have a permanent dock right now, which is set on those big gallons of cement.
yep,
You know, so the water level is going down. They're requesting to pull the dock out.
okay,
Okay, and they pick up the bottle, the gallons and get rid of it. The house beside them is donating their old dock
oh, yeah, yeah.
to them. It's a wooden dock.
Mm-hmm.
Now, all what he's going to be doing is placing the wooden dock on the same place where the other dock was. Although it's a permanent dock, it does not require any footings. There will be no disturbance to the bottom of the lake. What it has is a little extra, layer here where he's gonna sit big piece of stones so the dock doesn't move.
So he's gonna put stones in, he's gonna pull the pylons out, the existing ones, and then just put some stone in.
To hold the new one in place.
Hold them,
I
right
can't,
on the shoreline.
yeah. And I don't have a way, I don't have a way of permitting it because asking to file for a whole notice of intent to just drop a wooden dock without the need of footing or,
It's interesting, I'm wondering how that's gonna work when we have ice come back up.
if it's not gonna lift the dock.
Yeah.
Yeah, but again, it was like that on the neighbors.
Yeah, yeah.
That was my question to him.
so not gonna be disturbing any,
Well, we usually request a permit if the dock is permanent. If it is a temporary seasonal dock, we don't. But, you gotta take one situation at the time. And in his case, there is just base on the bottom of the dock where he's just gonna place weight so the dock won't move. And plus the weight of the dock itself. But again, I thought the same about the icing, but that, I guess that's on him. If things happens and he believes that at the end, you know, in the future, he's gonna have to secure that dock in a different way, then we'll request him to.
Well, I mean, my thing would be with the ice coming up, would break it.
Or break
But-
it, yeah.
But, you know,
Yeah.
that's, I guess, but that's on
I
him
could
if
write
he
him, I
wants.
could write him a letter of, you know, that if the commission feels that way, to allow him to remove the dock, place the new one, with just weights on the base like he's proposing. However,
With a solid concrete footing. That's what that is,
it can't,
more
yeah.
or less.
Oh, you mean, the
prefab-
weights, you mean?
Prefab, yeah, right.
Yeah, but, if that doesn't work when the ice comes and other, you know, way it's needed, then he's gonna have to come in front of us again and
Yeah,
fight.
either
Right.
take it out, put a temporary, you know, a roll in, roll
Right.
out, or
Right.
fold out, or
Right.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't permit it, like, something like that, there's no disturbance, it's just,
Yeah, because are they filling it, so they're taking out the existing supports, they're gonna fill that in, or is that where they're putting the,
well, it's just the gallon, those Home Depot 5 gallons filled with cement,
in the?
Oh, that's it.
huh?
Oh, I know what you mean.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know what you mean, I didn't know if those were actually in the, or they're just sitting on top of the lake bed right now. Like, I don't know what the dock looks like, so.
Or they're just sitting, they're
Oh,
just
that's
sitting,
sitting on the-
yeah.
okay,
So
yeah.
they're just gonna have to remove it.
And good luck carrying those things.
Yeah, carrying that thing up, cause it's like,
5
Goes
pounds,
low.
5 gallon, yeah.
it is 5 gallon, but it doesn't
Concrete
weigh
in it?
5 gallon.
No, it's a 5 gallon thing full of concrete.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I,
he's just replacing, he's just taking stuff out and
Yeah.
putting a dock in the same
Yeah.
spot.
yeah,
I just don't think it'll last.
I don't either.
Me
I think
neither.
it's gonna make a mess, or
Yeah.
it's gonna break
It-
with the
yeah.
ice.
How big's the
and-
dock?
How did he tell you
He
how
did
long?
not tell me how
It's
long the dock
probably-
was.
I'm probably thinking it's
Yeah, that's his
20
problem.
feet.
it can't be more than 20 feet, but it's up to him. You know, I can't tell people
Probably even smaller.
what to do
Well,
and
mine,
not to do.
so mine is a roll in, roll out, and I have an 18-foot boat, so mine is longer than that. Mine's like a
Okay.
25-foot dock.
But it's a floating dock, can't you just pull it in and tie it off?
It's not a floating.
It's not
this one's
floating.
not floating.
Okay.
It's a wooden permanent dock,
So
we
it's
stayed
got,
there.
it's got supports built already onto it.
Yeah,
But he's not digging into the lake bed to add anything to totally secure it to the lake
Yeah.
bed. He's placing it on a lake bed.
he's just placing on it, and there's like a base on the bottom that allows for you to put the weight on top of it. But you go, ice can be
Yeah.
violent.
Yeah, yeah, we've seen,
You have seen a lot
Docks.
of these docks completely.
yeah.
yeah, when we first had a hard dock, when we bought the house, it was an I-beam coming out of a cement block, and then there was a wooden dock on top of it. And it must have been hinged, because when we had ice come up, we had one piece like, right, and the other piece was down like that. It was like, we were like looking at it going, how are we gonna fix this thing? And water had to balance, we had to pick.
I've seen docks float across the lake.
Or float
yeah.
in the middle of the
Yeah.
lake. I know, I got a call once, can the Conservation Commission help me to get my dog? I was like,
No.
where did they go?
Yeah, right, yeah.
So can I have a motion to issue him a letter to allow him replace the dock as long as he, you know, does how it's being proposed?
Right.
Motion?
Motion, somebody?
Yeah. Motion to allow him to place the dock.
We have a second?
Second.
1 second. All in favor?
I,
Now we can go draw down
Draw down
updates.
updates.
Do an update? No, should I read the,
Read that email from Andy.
I know what you were saying, but
Who else is doing drawdowns? South Charlton?
South Charlton? Okay, updates. Well, Monday, the level was down to 26 inches from the high water mark. The valve is open 34 turns. We'll have a better updated on Saturday. You'll probably go to Jackie because I won't be here.
So
That's all.
yeah, seems to be going well.
Yep, and construction has started for the Glen Echo repair, Glen Echo Dam repair. Just as of right now, vegetation removal, but
When is this supposed to, when are they supposed to be done?
we hope to be done before the winter.
Oh, good.
Yep. Did I cover everything?
Yeah, I think so. We're not doing the last part, right?
No, because when are we ever gonna have a quorum again, like a full commission again?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Ron.
At
At 8.
Need a second, so we can leave?
Second.
All right, thank you.